Okay, folks. I talked about doing it, and I've got overwhelming emails wanting me to do this since I've talked about doing it. And so I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you my record collection. Now, let me say that a lot of the things that I've got have been sent in by listeners, and I don't make it a habit to take my show. This is not the legacy show tonight. This is just a sharing show, okay? I took time out, and I guess I should have, to show what listeners have sent. So I'm going to show all my records, and then I'll let you know if I've bought it or a listener sent it. And then I'm going to show things that have recently came in from listeners. The first thing I'm going to show you is the CD of the Singing Cooks. Now, what's interesting about this is I was having a conversation with my aunt this week on the phone. Well, last week, actually. And I mentioned a song on the CD. And I thought that reflection was from my computer. It's from my phone. Anyway, that might be a problem when I'm showing this stuff. Anyway, there's a song on here, A Land Beyond the Stars. I love the song. And no listener had heard me say that, but I got this CD. It's still sealed up in the mail this week. So thank you. And I'm not going to mention any names except one name because he wanted me to make sure to mention his name. Now, several months ago, and I've shared these records before, Mr. Delaney that owned a radio station sent me these radio promotional 45s. I've got the Magruders. I've got Genevere and Heritage. And I've got the Jones family in 45s. And they got one song on the whole album or two songs. Another thing I got recently was a CD from an apostolic brother of mine. And this gentleman is J. Michael Wilson. Now, him and his brothers had a quartet back in the 60s and 70s, 80s, called the Wilsons Brothers Quartet, and he was the piano player. And then after a while, he moved to Marion, Indiana, way before my time, and was the music director at a church in Marion, Indiana, called Bethel. And from what I understand, that's where he wrote the song Address Change Notification. But he has wrote a lot of good songs. Address Change Notification. He's written a song called a song by the Hoppers. Would You Mention My Name in Prayer? Boy, there's just a lot of songs. But he's a good apostolic brother, and I'm going to be sharing some of that here pretty soon when I get my CD player and record player hooked up, okay? So I'm going to start with the records I've got recently. So the legacy show last week, I was talking about Gordon Jensen and how I enjoyed Gordon Jensen and Orels and Gordon Jensen and Sunshine. Well, y'all heard me. And sure enough, there is Gordon Jensen and Sunshine. Let's see here. How am I going to do this here? Gordon Jensen with the Orels. And this is that live in concert album that I played from last week, but I didn't have the album at that time. The Lefevres, Stepping on the Clouds. Now, all these so far I'm showing you have been sent by listeners, okay? I'll let you know if I've bought it, okay? The Lesters, record album called Just For You. Now, the Lesters are from Missouri, and they made popular that song. I'm drawing a blank. Something about the potter. Oh, he didn't throw the clay away. That's the Lesters wrote that and made that popular. He didn't throw the clay away. And then Jack Campbell and the Ambassadors. This record is entitled A Family Affair. And, well, it's got a lot of good songs on there. The interesting thing about Jack Campbell is he's wrote so many good songs. Oh, what a happy day! I could if I started listening to all the songs that he wrote, I could be here all day long. But he was from Gideon, Missouri, just down the road from especially where I deliver, and he was good friends with the Magruders and Denny Autry. I don't see him pictured there, but Denny Autry, when he left Jack Campbell and the Ambassadors, joined the Magruders and was their piano player. This is the Oak Ridge Boys album called Just For You. The wrapper is a little bit torn there, but the record's in good condition. Oak Ridge Boys, Just For You. Okay, now this record I did purchase. This is one of the very first songs that the original Inspirations came out with. So that was the original Inspirations. What a wonderful time. And I don't know if you can see how young. There's Archie right there. Young Martin Cook. Yeah, they were very young. Okay. Now, these that I'm going to show you here now were sent in by listeners. The Inspirations from the 70s. This is Wake Up in Glory. Inspirations, We Shall Rise. The Inspirations, Is That Footsteps That I Hear. The Inspirations, On Heaven's Bright Shore. And this was the album or the recording that I grew up on. We had it on 8-track. I wish that phone wasn't making such a reflection. I purchased these next two. The Inspirations, A Night of Inspiration. Now, this record right here brings back a lot of good memories to me because I had borrowed this album, this album, but not this very one I'm holding, but an album just like it from my Aunt Mary years ago. And see this album, there was two different ones that came out. One that had that look right there, and then the other one, there's lights there, but they're not got the beams coming out of them. The interesting thing about this album here, A Night of Inspiration, And this next album I'm going to show you they were recorded 2 nights in 2 nights. This other one is The Inspirations Live. And they recorded one on a Friday night, and they recorded another on a Saturday night, but they released the live album. This live album was an anniversary album. They were celebrating 12-year anniversary. They released this one in 1975, and they waited to release this one in 76, but they were recorded in the same weekend. Now, you see that somehow through people sending me stuff, I might have duplicates, because here is another We Shall Rise. So, listeners, I don't need We Shall Rise. I appreciate it, but I don't need another one. And guess what I got? A duplicate of On Heaven's Bright Shore. I actually bought one of those, and then a listener sent me one after I'd already purchased it. Okay, this is one that the listener sent me. The Inspirations, When I Get Home. Okay, another one that the listener sent me. The Inspirations, I'm Taking a Flight. Listener sent me The Inspirations, The Wonder of Wonders. Okay, listener sent me this one. This is the Livingstons. This is the one I talked about a couple weeks ago, and they were from Bristol, Virginia, Bristol, Tennessee. He was an apostolic pastor down there, Dean Livingston. And I told you that in later years, my wife would buy their albums when his son Denny would come to Marion to hold revivals. Now, this one actually came this week too. There is Gord Jensen with the Orels. Here's another one that came this week from the listener. Is the Imperials live in concert. And that was recorded in Richmond, Indiana. And that is, I think, in the early 70s. Okay. You guys heard me talk about Rosie Roselle. And somebody sent me Rosie Roselle and the Searchers. This is when he broke away from the Statesmen and he started a group with his family. It's called I've Got It. And that's not ever been opened. It's still in the packaging, sealed up. I haven't even opened it and played it yet. Okay, here's one that I had bought. This is one of the actually, I think this is the very first record from the very first episode of the Legacy show. And this was originally I was going to play record albums. Okay. This was the very first record album I played, and I had bought this one, The Baker Family, A New Beginning. I grew up listening to The Baker Family. I think I've shared this one before. This was one that a listener sent me. Johnny Perrick. He should sing tenor with the Kingsmen. And that's entitled I'll Be There. Someone Sent Me This record, Charlie Pride. I played this at Christmas time. It's a Christmas album. Okay, how about this one? Wayne Goodine Trio. I bought this one. Wayne Goodine Trio. A listener sent me this. It's Christ Church Apostolic Broadcast Choir from Indianapolis, Indiana. If you don't praise him. This was the church that Brother Tyson pastored in Indianapolis. Okay, I shared this album, I think, before, and let me tell you something about this album. I think I've got both. I think I've got both of them, but this one is the Imperials Sail On. Now, do you see that? How it's got sort of reflection there. Okay, when they put these out, one's got that reflection on it, and then the other doesn't, but it's the same record album. So that's some history for you. Okay. Someone sent me this. The Cathedral Quartet. This one's called Better Than Ever. Okay. I bought this one. I think. Some of this Lamar Seago I bought, and some was listeners sent me. But that one's I've Got My Foot on the Rock. Lamar Seago, He Was More Than a Man. Lamar Seago, Singing the Plain Gospel Truth. I think that's the very first album he put out with his family after he broke away with Naomi and the Seago brothers. And you see, that was his first album. And then that was like probably the earliest album I got of them. And this is probably, well, that first album I showed you that I had of them is probably like the last record of them. Like, so from like earliest to oldest record of them. Lamar Seago Family, Sing About Jesus. And that's the one that I played that I think my Aunt Laura and Uncle Clinton had at one time. And it's got that song, Sit There on the Pew. That whole album is on my channel someplace. And I think I got this record album on there someplace. Lamar Seago, We've Got the Best There Is. I think I played both of those recordings at once. I'm not sure. And so I have one that's in the wrap that is open, and I've got one just like that that's not in a wrap. So I've got duplicates of that. And I said that one was probably one of the last records, but I think that's a little bit newer than, and that's It's Raining. I think that's a little bit newer than that one. Here's one, Lamar Seago Family, Hallelujah Square. Can you tell I like the Lamar Seago Family? I really enjoy the Lamar Seago Family. Okay, I'm going to pause for just a second. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I had to move some things around so I'd have some room. Now, I'm going to stop showing records just for a second. I'm going to show you something else that came within this last week. Somebody must be tired of seeing my blue screen. I'm not going to unfold it all. You see here, someone has sent me someone sent me a backdrop to put up. That sure looks like a library, maybe biblical books behind me. And so I am going to put that up, but I think I'm going to wait until after the 4th of July to do that, okay? So don't think that I'm just going to put it aside and not use it. I am going to do that. Okay, go on with some more records. Okay, this was sent by a listener. The Downings. And I think this might be a live in concert. No. The Downings once more with Filling. The Lefevres. Sent by one of my listeners. A Man Who Is Wise by the Lefevres. Okay. Now I forget if I bought this or somebody sent it to me, but I did share this whole album on my channel someplace. It's the Singing Americans. So that is on my channel someplace. Okay, here's another record of Jack Campbell and the Ambassadors, the man that's from Gideon, Missouri. Well, he's passed away now. But the guy that's right there on the top, that's Denny Autry, and he's the one that joined the Magruder's after Jack Campbell and the Ambassadors. Well, I think they went on, but somehow he joined the Magruder's. He was a piano player. I think this was sent in by a listener, Teddy Huffman and the Gems. That was a live in concert record album. Listener sent in this. The Florida Boys. A listener sent in this. Dallas Home. It's called This Is My Song. And this is actually a in concert record. Okay, I bought this one. This is Charles Johnson and the Revivers. And I do have that on my page, the whole album someplace, because it's one of the most watched videos I've got. It's Charles Johnson and the Revivers. Okay. A listener sent me this. The Jimmy Pierce Trio. It's a Good Life. Listener sent this in to me. The Rex Nealon Singers. So see, and I apologize that I don't get on here like some of these people and say, hey, look, here's what my listeners have sent me. If I got on here and showed you everything my listeners sent me, my program would be total occupied with that. But what I do feel bad about, and I am going to do this, I am going to start playing more music from record albums, okay? And I know that don't suit some people's fancy, but that's really what I started this program on. I started it to where you're can listen to music that you cannot find on YouTube, you know. So anyway, the Hopper Brothers and Connie. and it was entitled Our Kind of Gospel. So that's the Hopper Brothers and Connie, yeah. Now I bought this one. This is the Happy Goodman Family, Portrait of Excitement. I bought this one. The Goodman Family. And this one's called Chosen. Now, here's a funny fact. Somebody sent me a bunch of records of Jack Campbell and the Ambassadors. And this is called A Family Affair. Does it look familiar? It's just like the one that I got this week. This one, when they sent it to me, they sent an apology letter. They couldn't find the record. Well, now I've got the record, so I don't have to put that empty shell back in my collection. I've got the shell and the record just sent to me actually today. The Singing Cooks. Somebody sent me this one. I think I'll read it again. And I know I'm going fast, but if I don't go fast, this will take all night. I'm sorry. A listener sent me this one, the Hemphill. And this one was called Revival. Actually, I bought that. I bought that for a certain purpose. There's a song on there that my friend Johnny and I were talking about, and I bought that just to listen to that song called Minute by Minute. A listener sent this to me, the Rex Nealon Singers, and it was called Feelings. Rex Nealon Singers. Now, if you want to hear something from some of these albums, I know I didn't tell you the name of the songs, but if you say, "Hey, play a song from such and such album," or I know that there's such song on the album, will you play that for me? I'll play it. Okay, a listener sent this to me. It's a double record of the Spear Family. This is the 60th anniversary celebration record. It's a 4-record set. Okay, listener sent this to me. This is the Bill Gaither Trio, especially for children of all ages. Now, I know there's people that are well familiar with that record album. You know, songs like I Am a Promise and He Made Me Special. I'm the Only One of My Kind. Now, I've got this, and I don't know where this record is. I should have this record, but the Bill Gaither Trio for kids, for some reason, there's no record in there. And I don't know why, but I have to find that. Okay, I've bought this one. This is the Happy Goodman's Good and Happy. Okay, I bought this one. This is Jimmy Swaggart live in concert, Nashville, Tennessee. Now, we used to have a Ford Maverick that had an 8-track player in it. And we'd listen to that 8-track all the way to Goshen Church when we would go. My dad would predominantly play that recording right there on 8-track on our way to church. And it's probably one of my favorite Jimmy Swaggart albums yet today. Live in concert from Nashville. Okay, a listener sent this to me. Jack Campbell and the Ambassadors. Again, this is that man from Gideon. I've bought this one. The Baker Family. That's a good recording. I grew up a lot on the Baker Family. Rusty Goodman. You Make It Rain for Me. That was sent in by a listener. They must have knew I played it a lot for my aunts. Lamar Siegel Family. I think I've got two of these. Hallelujah Square. Lamar Siegel Family. Hold Me. Hold Me, Lord. The Florida Boys, Free Indeed. The Primitive Quartet. Who Do You Think? Who Do You Think is the name of the album. I'm not asking you who you think. Jimmy Swaggart. One More Time. That's a live in concert. Okay, Jack Campbell and the Ambassadors live, and I've got that recording someplace on my channel. That's a very good recording. So I told you he wrote What a Happy Day. You know the song March Around the Throne that the Rambles put out? He wrote that. Because that's on that record. A listener sent this to me. Doug Odom, Inspiration. It's the name of the album, Inspiration. Okay, I've bought this one. This is the Happy Goodman, Covered in Warmth, and that whole album is on my channel someplace. Dallas Home and Praise. And that's the live in concert. That's one of my favorite recordings of all time of anyone, is that recording right there. It's got Rise Again on it, front seat, back seat on it. If I had to do it all over again, I'd choose Jesus. Jesus, I'm an Open Book. So many good songs. Now, of course, I bought this one. This is out of, when I started buying records, this was like the second record album I bought to start my collection. And it's Bobby Stanley Family. That's called Revival Days. The Hensons, called When We Were Young. This is a 4-album set that's got some of their earlier recordings before they really was famous. I'll show you a picture on the back there. That's the young Henson family. Okay, I bought this one. This is Don Johnson. He was an apostolic preacher. He was the head of the Assemblies of the Lord Jesus Christ for years. Good album. I bought this one. David and Elaine Faust. Someone sent me this one. Jack Campbell and the Ambassadors. Someone sent me this one. Jack Campbell and the Ambassadors. They must have knew I liked him. And I never knew Jack Campbell and the Ambassadors till about 2 years ago. But, I enjoyed, and I like it too because he's from Missouri. And I take pride in that, even though I'm not really a true Missourian. I'm just transplanted here. Okay, someone sent me this one. It's the Gospel Singing Caravan. I bought this one. The Upper Room Experience. That's when they were very young. And I've got that album on there someplace on my channel. Someone sent me this. This is the Church of Jesus Christ Choir. A record called Welcome Home. Someone sent me this. The Kenny Parker Trio. I'll Keep Holding On to Jesus. Kenny Parker used to be the piano player for the Rambos. This is the Hopper Brothers and Connie. And that's a live recording. Jack Campbell and the Ambassadors. Okay, how about this one? The Happy Goodmans. 99 and anyway, I call it the 99% album. That's the Happy Goodmans. Don Johnson, it's again he was the head of the ALJC for years now. I had never heard of Lamar Seago until I got this album. I always thought that those two women were his wife, or some people went to his church helping him sing. But when I got this album and I read on the back, I found out that those two women were Robin and Hattie Seago. And that's what made me look up Lamar Seago, because that's part of the Lamar Seago family. And that's how I got interested in them. All right. The Primitive Quartet, Just a Pilgrim. The Primitive Quartet, Music from Our Mountains. I bought this one, the Wayne Goodine Trio. The Florida Boys. That's one that one of my listeners sent me. Okay, I bought this one. The Baker Family. I can't remember if I bought this one or somebody sent it to me, but it's the Lanny Wolf Trio. And that one's called I Can't Stop the Music. And this is the one that's got Lori Carruthers on it. She wasn't Lori Carruthers at that time. Her name was Lori Lewis. And the other girl's name was Gail George. And, of course, Laney Wolf. It's got songs like The Beauty of His Name, I Have a Friend, Precious Blood, Jesus Made Me an Offer So Good That I Just Couldn't Turn It Down, More Than Ever Before, Fresh Touch of Desire, Stirred But Not Changed, I'm Gonna Rise to Be with Jesus. This is a good album. I'm pretty sure I probably bought it. There's that Kenny Parker Trio again. Again, he's the one that used to be the piano player for the Rambos at one time. Somebody sent me this one. These men I'd never heard of. The Christian Messengers. I'm not sure even where they're from. Xenia, Ohio, it looks like. Someone sent me this. Reverend Clevenant Derricks and family. And he's the one that wrote the song, Just a Little Talk with Jesus. I bought this one. This is Brother Hera and family. And they're a part of the Assemblies of the Lord Jesus Christ at one time. And we're good friends with Brother Stukukanauer that used to come to Goshen Church. Okay, a listener sent me this one. It's the Singing Rambos in concert. It's a 2-album set. Somebody sent me this, the Branham family. I bought this one. This is the Hensons, called High Voltage. And I think I have that whole album on my channel someplace. Jack Campbell and the Ambassadors. I'll tell you another song he wrote that's on here. I've got more to go to heaven for than I had yesterday. He wrote that song. And here's where it all began. And this is the very last album. But this is the very first album I bought for my record collection. And this is the David Faust Trio. And I believe I've got that on there someplace on my channel. Jimmy Swaggart. Jimmy Swaggart was in the 8-track player a lot in the car. David Faust Trio, when I was a little kid, was what was in the 8-track player a lot in our home in the stereo. And then in later years, it was the Baker family. So I've got really good fond memories of this record album right here, the David Faust Trio. And that was the very first album that I bought to start my collection. It's been 45 minutes, folks, and we're finally through all my records. And I'm telling you, probably a good 90% of those is what people have sent me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I don't know where I'm going to put anymore if you keep sending them to me. But I am going to start playing some songs from these records because it's a shame that people have sent me this stuff and I haven't been playing things from them. It's just, it's hard to set up the equipment to do those records. And it's like I said before, I have a hard time seeing to put the needle exactly where it needs to go for a certain song. But I am going to I'm going to stop playing for a while songs from, well, no, I'm going to play a good mix. I'm going to play songs from my records as well as other sources, okay? So, listen, you saw my record collection. If you think there's a song on some of these records that you want to hear from a certain group, or you want to hear from a certain group, you let me know by way of comments below this video or by email at mo1250319 or you can write me at P.O. Box 39, Moreland, Missouri 63767. All right, so there is my record collection. Now, I will tell you, other than that, people have sent me, somebody sent me a pair of shoes one time. Somebody sent me an outside, like, solar operated light that is on my handrail. They've sent me equipment to do this podcast with. Somebody sent me a percolator, coffee percolator. If you've sent something, thank you. Thank you, thank you. And maybe I should start talking more about what people send me and showing it. It's just that I don't want to, maybe I should do a separate program of just when I get things from people, showing it, maybe that, because I don't want people to think that I'm ungrateful, because I'm very thankful. But anyway, I will be back on this weekend, hopefully tomorrow night for the Legacy Show. If not, I will be on here on a Saturday or Sunday. This Saturday is sort of hard because we have our singing on Saturday, and then I've got to preach Sunday morning at my home church. So, as far as studying and getting ready for the singing and everything, Saturday isn't the greatest day. But I will be on here sometime this weekend for the Legacy Show. Okay? Well, God bless you, and I'll see you the next time.